ti, ka, re, pa, ti, ka, s, 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 sh, 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 ts, 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 hui, 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 re, pa, ti, ka, re, pa, ti, ka, s, 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 sh, 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 ts, 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 hui, 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 hui. No, do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, yam. Hey everybody, just kind of trying to get my morning started with some kind of like effort towards like I've had a long-term goal of, working on extending my vocal range to a more gender affirming place, because I was trained as a tenor, and I've kind of like worked on vocal feminization for my speech patterns over the past couple of years. But I really want to be able to extend my range into the alto and soprano range. And I want to collect a repertoire of audition pieces, hopefully by the fall. I would like to do some auditions for the fall. And I think like finding pieces that are relevant to me is really important. When you find something that connects to you emotionally, I found these songs from a musical called Fun Home, which is about a woman going through her exploration of her identity and like figuring out like that she's lesbian and like all that kind of stuff. I will watch the play later, but the song is like pretty straightforward. There's two songs. But like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like working on the preliminary steps of just learning the, we're just going to be like kind of humming along. And it's going to be, it's not really performance ready. So like, pretty much just like going through the long-term process of learning. Like it takes a little bit. There's a couple different steps. Like first, what we're going to do is I'm just going to listen to the song and the lyrics, and I'm just going to hum along with it. Basically just internalizing the song. That's like the very first step for me, I think, is like internalizing the song. We're not really focused on like, fine tuning the performance just yet. So, bear with me. We're going to be going through the lyrics. This is Fun Home, Changing My Major.
What happened last night? Are you really here? Joan, 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 Joan. Hi, Joan, Joan. Oh my God, last night. Joan, 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 Joan. Hi, Joan, Joan. Oh my God, last night. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, last night. I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. Well, you laughed a little bit at one point when I was touching you and said, oh God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, last night. I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. Well, you laughed a little bit at one point when I was touching you and said I might lose consciousness, which you said was adorable, and I just have to trust that you don't think I'm an idiot or some kind of an animal. I never lost control due to overwhelming lust, but I must say that I'm changing my major to Joan. I'm changing my major to sex with Joan. I'm changing my major to sex with Joan. I'm a minor in kissing Joan. Foreign study to Jones in her thighs. A seminar on Jones' ass in her Levi's. And Jones' crazy brown eyes. Joan, I feel like Hercules. Oh God, that sounds ridiculous. Yes, I'm thinking through this and I'll work on calming down. And then I'll work on calming down. Crazy brown eyes. Joan, I feel like Hercules. Oh, that sounds ridiculous. Just keep on sleeping through this and I'll work on calming down. Cause I'm fucking up. I'll be cool, I'll be collected. And I'll have felt some dignity, but who needs dignity? This is so much better. I'm radiating happiness. Will you stay here with me for the rest of the semester? We won't need any food. We'll live on sex alone. Sex with Joan. I am writing a thesis on Joan. It's a cutting-edge field and my mind is blown. I would gladly stay up every night to hone my compulsory skills with Joan. I will study my way down her spine, familiarize myself with her well-made outline, while she researches mine. I don't know who I am. I've become someone. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. Nothing I just do. Overnight everything changed. I am not prepared. I'm dizzy, I'm nauseous, I'm shaky. I'm scared. Am I falling into nothingness or flying into something so sublime? I don't know, but I'm changing my major to Joan. I don't mind if I be all alone. But that was before I was lying, going in
the storm room with Joan.
Look, she drove on the pillow, so sweet, oh sweaty and tangled up in my bed sheet, and my heart feels complete. Let's never leave this room. How about we stay here till finals? I'll
Go to school forever.
I'll take out a dementedly huge high interest loan. 'Cause I'm changing my major to Joan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think for the most part, like, I got a lot of like the general, like, there's a lot of like hits on that note, like, there's a lot of like kind of hits on the same kind of notes. Blending musical performance with theatrical performance, it's like a new thing for me. So I'm kind of like trying to explore this, and like I kind of got the lyrics down. I think like we're off to a good start with this. So I think I just like every day I need to kind of like work on this a little bit. So it's like something like,
Hey Joan, don't wake up, Joan.
Hi Joan, hi Joan, don't wake up Joan.
Oh my God,
last night.
Oh Joan, Joan.
What happened last night? And you know, like there's also the kind of like idea of like this moment for her is like a profound, you know, discovery of her identity. And it's almost like, you know, like there's always this feeling like when you're the person that somebody is experimenting with, it makes you kind of feel like less of value, because it's like you're like attracted to this person, and then she's seeing you as some kind of like, it's not really that she's in love with you, she's in love with herself. And so like there's also like that kind of going in the background, like for the other character, you know, it's like for Alyssa, like this is like a big awakening for her. She's like, I'm a lesbian, you know, like this is her huge discovery moment. And it's like she's always going to remember Joan, and it's like it's not really about Joan. It's about her, what Joan represents. You know, everybody like finds that kind of person. It's like you're not really when you go through like self-discovery and you like you go through like some kind of experience with somebody, especially if it's like romantic or sexual. And it's like oh god damn. Yeah, I'm like clearing out my throat through the singing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's gargle the whole thing.
Are you really? What happened last night? Are you really? Joan. Hi, Joan. Oh my God, last Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, last night. I got so excited, I was too enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. Well, you laughed a little bit. At one point when I was touching you, it said I might lose consciousness, which you said was incredible, and I just have to trust that you don't think I'm an idiot or some kind of an animal. I never lose control due to overwhelming lust, but I must say that I'm changing my major to Joan. I'm changing my major to sex with Joan. I'm changing my major to sex with Joan, with a minor in kissing Joan. For it's study to Joan's inner thighs, a seminar on Joan's ass in her Levi's, and Joan's crazy brown eyes. Joan, I feel like Hercules. Oh God, that sounds ridiculous. I'll be cool, I'll be collected, and I'll have found some dignity. But who needs dignity? 'Cause this is so much better. I'm radiating happiness. Will you stay here with me for the rest of the semester? We won't need any food. We'll live on sex alone. Sex and tone. I am writing a thesis on Joan. It's a cutting edge field that my mind is blown. I would gladly stay up every night to hone my glossary skills with Joan. I will study my way down her spine, familiarize myself with her well-laid outline, while she researches mind. I don't know why I've become someone. Nothing I just did is anything I would do. Overnight everything changed, I'm not prepared. I'm dizzy, I'm nauseous, I'm shaken. I'm scared. Am I falling into nothingness, or flying into something so sublime? I don't know, but I'm changing my mind.
Sorry.
I don't know, changing to nothingness, or flying into something so sublime. I don't know, but changing my page to John. I thought all my life I'd be all alone, but that was before I was lying prone in this storm bed with Joan. Look, she drools so sweet, all sweaty and tangled up in my bed sheet, and my heart feels complete. Let's never leave this room. How about we stay here till finals? I'll go to school forever. I'll take out a dementedly huge high interest loan. 'Cause I'm changing my major to
Yeah, that's one way to practice it. Yeah, we'll get this song. Don't worry. It's not even like that complicated. What happened last night? Are you really here? Yeah, let's work on the lyrics. Joan, 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 Joan. I'm going to be focusing more on the lyrics. I tried to pause the video on this video. We're going to focus more. And now that we've like kind of practiced a little bit on the melody, let's shift gears and focus more on the lyrics. So less on musicality and more on lyricality. Like focusing on the words, the text.
Happened last night.
What happened last night? Are you really here? Joan, 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 Joan.
Hi, Joan.
Wake up, Joan.
Oh my
God, last night.
Oh
My God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, last night. I got so excited. I'm so enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. I laughed a little bit. At one point when I was touching you and said I might lose consciousness, but you said it was adorable, and I just have to trust that you're not I'm an idiot or some kind of an animal. Never lose control due to overwhelming lust. But I must say that I'm changing my major to Joan. I'm changing my major to sex with Joan. I'm changing my major to sex with Joan with a minor, kissing Joan. My biggest issue, and this is like any kind of like anybody like going over the break. This is like always the big issue is like, cause I'm trained as a tenor, but going into like, there's a certain like when you're going into the more alto range, it's a little bit hard to go back and forth between those two ranges. Like if I'm staying up in the alto and soprano range, it's fine. If I'm staying around in like the kind of more tenor range, it's fine. But when you go between the tenor and the alto ranges, that's when I have the most difficulty. Like because I have to change like registers. So it's like a little bit more of a challenge. So that's like the real like that's going to be like the majority of the work for this song.
Study to Joan. Sex with Joan with a minor, kissing Joan. Foreign study to Joan's inner thighs. A seminar on Joan's ass in her Levi's. And Joan's crazy brown eyes. Joan, I feel like Hercules. I love it, sounds ridiculous. Just keep on something in through this, and I'll work on calming down. If I'm freaking up, I'll be cool, I'll be collected. No offense and dignity, and who needs dignity? This is so much better.
Oh, I'm getting a little getting a little bit lightheaded. Yeah, I got to take a break from this from now. I think I don't want to overwork myself. You got to take little micro breaks. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like, this morning I woke up and I'm just like thinking about, you know, things that I'm trained in, but I haven't like developed like particular skills in. And like, I think like I have like not really like developed like a repertoire, and I'm sick and tired of like just kind of meandering around, and it's like there's a lot of musical theater out there I'm missing out on, and it's like I'm trained as a musician, and I'm also like, you know, I've had very little training as an actor. Hey, High Life. But, you know, it's like you learn by doing, and you learn by auditioning. And it's like, I think like, since I do have music training, if I can develop a strong repertoire of, like, you know, 2 or 3 pieces to showcase my vocal range and my emotive range, and also integrate, you know, I need to focus on one that like really pushes out my vocal performance range, one that really showcases my my acting range, and then one that kind of blends both. Like I think like eating eggs, nice. So this one, like, and it's really important to pick things that really resonate with me, and that like really match like my understanding of the world and myself. I don't want to limit myself just to like just to queer stories, but queer stories are really close to me because I'm trans, and so it's like, you know, characters who go through similar kind of journeys. Like in Fun Home, I still haven't watched the whole thing, so it's like I've only seen like some performances. But obviously, you know, my understanding is it's like this woman who is like discovering that she, like, you know, talking about her childhood and how she discovered being a lesbian. There's another one called Ring of Keys, and how she saw this woman who was like super confident in who she was, and then she's like, she saw that it's possible for her to not exist in the, you know, very like kind of rigid, identity that was forced on her. So like I think that's a really good place for myself to be, is to just get myself like lost in the process of trying to build my repertoire again. Like I need an audition repertoire. And being able to audition musically sets me apart. And I think this fall I'm going to try auditioning for whatever musical is going to be at the junior college. I think that's a good goal to have. Like I have the whole summer to build a repertoire, so we're going to really work on this. I just kind of wanted to start on stream, I'm not going to do most of it on stream. Most of it's going to be just, throughout the day, I'm going to be working on that song. And like, over time, I'm going to have like, we'll see where it goes. And first I need to actually like learn it and then work on memorizing it. Like that's the first step. And then once I memorized it, then I can focus on perfecting the performance. So it's like, it's going to be in stages. Like learning anything, especially music, you want to start with having like a strong sense of like, you need to have a strong understanding of the foundation of it. And then over time you work on memorizing it. So you have to work on learning it, then memorizing it, then perfecting it. That's like the whole cycle. Once you've memorized it, then you don't have to think so much. And when you don't have to think so much about the actual performance, about the actual like delivery, when you know that like it's under your tongue, like it's like right there. Like that's going to be the process for this. And so it's like, I don't know. I'm kind of just like trying to find ways to get back to life. I feel like I'm being resurrected. Like it's a weird feeling. Like I feel like after I went through all those surgery things, and I've been trying to pick up all the pieces of who I am, and I don't really know who I am anymore. But then it's like, well, how about I go back to, who I was discovering myself to be as I was growing up, and now I'm coming into myself more. And so now I can, go even deeper, like what does music really mean to me? And I don't really know anymore. Like growing up, music was one thing, and now it's something else. It feels very different, but it feels better, I think, because it's more connected to me. But it definitely, there is like a weird period of time that I think there's going to be this weird phase where everything kind of feels really different. And just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad. It's just because it's different. It's new because now I have an even deeper connection to it. A more personal connection, which is where you want to be. So even though I felt like I was like more deeply involved in the culture of music, and since like when I started my transition and then, COVID hit, I had already kind of like distanced myself from like the college campus and from like the music, lifestyle, like the social part of it. And I think like developing like I need to find who I am before and I think going back into college again to audition for some musicals and stuff like that, or music for audition for some plays this fall. I think that'll be really good. Like this fall I want to go back to school and take the next acting class. I feel like I was really overwhelmed by fall semester last year. There was a lot going on, and then I was hospitalized in the spring. I didn't take any classes in the spring because I was so overwhelmed by the experience of going back to school of like, I was working on acting, and so like I was really vulnerable emotionally. And then I also had some encounters with people that I had not been used to social encounters with people for quite some time. And so it was really overwhelming because I think I did too much too fast. And I think I kind of blew it. I think I had an opportunity to make some lasting like connections with people, and I think I really screwed it up. But that doesn't mean it's over. It just means like, at that time, like I kind of screwed it up. I think like when I go back, I'm going to be a little bit stronger, and I'm going to audition for a musical. And I'm going to have these audition pieces ready. Like it needs to be prepared. Like I can't go in right now. Like that's why we have to like work on it like a little bit each day. But it's not really like I don't have to be spending like a ton of time on it. I think even just what I did earlier, just like listening to the song, internalizing the pitches and the lyrics, and then like throughout the day I can kind of like maybe work on it like once or twice. And then like do that for like over time. And like, it's just like what I'm doing with like journaling and stuff, and also with these live streams. It's just doing like a little bit of like snapshots of things. And I think like trying to develop things over time instead of letting them kind of disappear from my life. Like a lot of the times I will be like working on something and then I kind of just fizzle out. I'm not going to let things fizzle out anymore. Like that's kind of like where I am right now. I need to focus on like not letting things disappear, because what happens is I get really strong starts on things, and then it's like I kind of lose motivation, and then I just kind of stop. That's kind of where things are. I'm going to learn this song, and I don't know if it's going to be very good, but we can work on that as we go. And it helps with extending my vocal range. It's really hard. It's not even just hard for trans women. It's hard for any woman to get these singing ranges. Singing is hard, and I'm trained as a tenor. So, I have a good foundational start with music. I spent my whole entire childhood in choir and band. And then I went back to college and studied music for a music degree that I still haven't finished yet. But, it's like I have a huge, strong academic foundation in music. Like there's an internalized, it's a strength. Like that is a skill. And how come I'm letting it disappear? And I'm not going to. I'm going to get back into it. And it's going to be better than before. It's going to dip into musical theater now. That's like a place where like I think I might be able to find my people, especially in the queer community. That's my place in the queer community. I mean, I know there's like kind of a stereotype, but it's kind of a stereotype for a reason. There's a lot of stories that like a lot of queer people latch on to. A lot of people who are afraid to come out as gay or trans or anything like that. Before you're able to express yourself, you usually express yourself by attaching yourself to other things. That's why there's a lot of people who, and this isn't just queer people, but it's just like it's really popular, it's really prevalent, I mean, in the queer community for people who are suppressed, and especially when you're so suppressed that you don't even know what it is. Like when you don't even know that you're gay or that you're trans, and you're like really confused and you don't know why you feel the way you feel. And then you listen to like a musical, or you watch a musical and you're like, I connect to this character for some reason. And that for some reason, eventually you realize what it is later on. But I think early on, a reason why a lot of queer kids growing up gravitate towards music and musical theater and all that kind of stuff is because they're able to explore their identity detached from themselves. Because then they could always safely say, oh, well, that's just that character that's going through that. Especially when they're experiencing like bigotry, especially when it's from their parents. Like if their parents are super like, rigid about like sexual identity or gender identity, then it's like, oh, you can't dress that way. You can't be that way. Like, it's easier to then say, hey, look, I'm going into like, audition for this part. and this character is going through this transformation, and they're like, oh wow, like that's actually like, then they could always say that it's the character that's going through that. The character. It's like, no, it's you, and you're attaching yourself to the character. That's what makes a good performance, is when you're putting yourself through the character, or the character is going through you. And so it's like a lot of times, like that's why there's the stereotype of like, gay, queerness and theater. And I think that's my place. I've always been like a theater kid, like, I've been a music, like in choir kid, growing up, but that's like very closely, in proximity to like, theater. And it's like it's a very like prevalent stereotype. And I think that that's my place. I think a lot of queer people, might be able to connect with me better because I may not be a very, socially, intelligent person, but at least, it's something, it's a way to break the ice and to soften, it's a way for people to connect to me, easier, because it's like, well, if you're like a musical theater person, like that's something that like I understand, other musical theater people and like queer people who are really into musical theater and like, all that kind of stuff. I think that might be my place. Because I'm not really into the whole like, protesting thing. I'm not really into the political part of being queer. I'm not really like, I really am fascinated by drag, but that's not really my scene. Like, it would be cool to do drag shows and stuff, but honestly, I feel like that's not really my scene. I mean, as a model, I need to take all the work I can get, but, and also like drag is, in camp, is kind of an interesting genre of modeling. So it's like, I don't like limiting myself to one or two things. I like tasting everything, as a model or as an actress or as a singer or as a musician. I don't consider myself locked into one particular kind of style or one particular type of genre. I just have a foundational skill as like, I am a performer. And, and more so than that, I am rebeccaloran. I am a person. I'm a human being. Like, I'm not a trans woman, quote unquote. I am me. And so like that, like, I feel like as a performer, that's where you need to be. You need to have a strong sense of who you are. Otherwise, everything that you perform is going to fall short. Because there's always going to be a distance between you and the character because it's not you. But if you can find a way to make the character your own, that requires understanding yourself. And that's something I've been working on for the past 6 years. Like, in insane amounts. Okay? Like, I don't know what I'm like upset about. Like, I'm poised to potentially be like this amazing figure in like, in the queer community. To inspire people to, do what I did, which is like discover who they are, which is going to be different for everybody. But going through the process of understanding who you are, and I don't know, I feel like I've gotten to a place where like I feel like extremely like emotionally detached from artistic work. And I need to like dive back in, even if it's going to feel a little bit empty for a while. Like, because it's just like, I feel like it's just like, it feels like I'm just doing a performance. And maybe that's a good place to be, because maybe that means that I'm like extremely skilled. And like, I just need to get past the point of like getting through the memorization part. And then I can really get into the performance part and like really finding out like what this means to me. I feel like this huge like emotional distance from artistic work right now. It's really hard to explain. Like, it feels like nothing matters. It's a really weird feeling, and I know it's just it's because I feel so empty inside, and I feel so trapped in my living situation, and I feel so trapped by my lack of ability to get myself out of this situation, which is actually the worst part. The part that really hurts me the most is that no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to figure out how to get out of here. I can't seem to figure out a way to move forward. How do I go um advocate for myself? How do I get a job? Like, I'm an autistic person awaiting resources that they keep saying are going to happen, and then months go by, years, like it's been a year, and like I don't know how to deal with this. And so instead of I keep going in circles about this, I'm going to focus on what I can do, which is like, that's why I've been doing the exercising. That's why I've been focusing on my diet. That's why I've been focusing on now I'm going to start getting back into learning repertoire for auditions. I need to have learning the musical pieces are going to be really important. And then I also need to learn, I've already practiced a monologue, which I would need to get back into memorization. I need to memorize a few monologues for auditions. And I feel like if I am the right person for the part, and I think if I can showcase my skills as a performer, even if obviously auditioning is never guaranteed in anything, but at least I need to go through the process of being prepared enough to go into an audition. And so and then I can find more auditions, and eventually I will find parts. Eventually I'll get the roles, eventually I'll get the part somewhere. Even if people don't necessarily see, if you're good enough at something, you don't have to rely on people liking you. I think that's where I go wrong, is I keep trying to do things from the opposite end. I keep trying to convince people to like me instead of just convincing them that I'm qualified. That's I feel like, I don't know where that happened, but I noticed in my life, a lot of times in life, it's not really what you know, it's who you know. And I have a hard time with that. But instead of focusing on trying to force people to like me, I should just convince people that I'm skilled enough for them to want me regardless of if they like me. I need to go above and beyond with my skill set. Because if I can do that, it doesn't matter if people don't like you or not. They're being like, hey, you're valuable. And maybe, I don't know, it's just it's a really weird situation nowadays because of social media. And because I'm so active on social media, I'm worried that somebody would not want to hire me for anything because they don't want people to Google me. I'm worried about getting canceled. And I need to stop that, because there's nothing I can do about that. People are going to do that even if I was the most perfect, curated social media profiles possible. If I was just super rated G, insanely politically correct, somebody would find something to have problems with me. So I may as well just be authentic. And I think people really resonate with authentic voices. And there's people who are a lot more edgy than me who are succeeding in musical theater and stuff. So I think I need to stop making excuses. I need to just learn. I need to build the repertoire. And so, I don't know, I did a little bit with you live on stream, and I think just doing things on stream, sets things in motion for me. So maybe it's not very good, but it's just starting out. I'm just trying to learn the lyrics and memorize the song. It's going to take time. It doesn't happen immediately. I think I have most of it down though. I have all the pitch range. Listen to soft music. I got the pitch range for the most part. I may not have the proper tone quality, and the confidence, and the resonance is important, and being able to perform the part. Like, it's not just about the vocal, like it's a full performance. I need to really like understand the character, and I'm going to watch the whole play later. And so like that's all part of it. It doesn't have to all happen right now. Like I think I have like this. Do you have a library? Yeah, I need to go to. I'm reading some library books. I actually got to finish a library book today, so I'm gonna end the stream and kind of like have breakfast, and I need to finish reading this book and turn it in. Um um and I don't know. I think I'm just like I'm trying to like become a normal person again. But I'm like exceptional. Like I'm kind of above average. But being above average is not really enough. I need to be like exceptional. Like I need to be able to audition and get parts to things. Um, I need to build a repertoire, and I need to get involved with the community. There's an active theater community in Sonoma County and surrounding areas. And I just hope that it's like I hope I haven't like ruined my reputation. I really tried very hard to not ruin my reputation when I went back to school. But it felt like I was just like juggling so many things and trying not to ruin my life, and I feel like I've ruined my reputation. It's just like I don't think it's as bad as I think it is. I think I'm overreacting. But like I feel like I screwed up my chance to like I feel like I've permanently damaged my reputation. Like there were people who wanted to get closer to me, and then I feel like I screwed it up because I'm autistic. And like I don't know, I think people are more forgiving than I realize, and maybe I'm just internalizing and imagining things. I think it's really easy to imagine things. I think it's just my environment. It's because I need to get out and get these resources to start helping me and get my own apartment, and like like they said they're gonna help me, and they're not. Like I need coaching. They're supposed to be helping me. I have a developmental disorder. I don't know why they're not helping me. But anyway, I need to focus less on the negative, and I just need to focus more on what matters. Hey, Immortal. Yeah, I mean, I could volunteer, like teach people like how to read and write. Conversation websites. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to do that though. Like, I don't know how to make it happen. That it's an autistic problem. I need somebody to help me, and I'm with North Bay Regional Center, and they're supposed to have people who can like guide me and like with advocacy, but they're not getting started. It's taken a whole year and they haven't gotten started, and I don't know what to do. Like I have a developmental disorder. It's hard for me. I know it sounds unreasonable what I'm saying, and I know you might be like, screaming at your monitor or whatever. Like, why are you not doing this? Like, where do you think I've been my whole life? Like, it's like that's what my whole life has been, is people who are just saying, why don't you just do that? Why don't you just do this? Why are you lazy? And it's like, I'm not lazy, I'm autistic. I need somebody to give me like a step by step, like day by day guidance. And that's what North Bay Regional Center is supposed to be doing. They're legally supposed to be doing this. They took me on as a client, and they said that I'm a client for life. But they haven't done anything to move my life forward. I was supposed to be working with a coach, like an ILS, independent living services coach, and the person they worked with me quit. And then I got blamed for it. Because it's like, oh, you were verbally abusive. And I'm like, no, I'm not verbally abusive. I'm just in a fucked up situation. And it's like, why are people being so unreasonable to me? Why are people not helping me? I'm really scared. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, why are they not helping me? They're supposed to. They're supposed to help me, like, learn life skills. Is it too late for me? I'm 37 years old. Who am I kidding anymore? I'm sorry. I'm what did I do? I'm sorry. I'm just like, this is kind of where I am right now. Like, I don't feel like there's any way out. I feel trapped. I'm in a little teeny tiny box, and there's nobody coming to save me, even though they said they would. How am I supposed to get connected to the community? Like, I went to take an acting class, and I tried really hard not to ruin my reputation. And I feel like I did. I screwed up. Like, it was like I'm not good enough. I don't know. I need to stop worrying about all that, because it's like, I'm not a bad person. I'm not like, if people have a problem with me, that's their fault. I'm a good person, and I deserve to have a life worth living, and I deserve to be able to exist in the community and not be shot down every single time I try. And to be, like, I am very talented, and I have like a lot of good qualities. I belong in the community, and maybe if I can get back into theater and just keep putting my foot down and like auditioning, eventually I'll have my place in the community. But like for now, I just need to like, develop a repertoire and build those auditions. Um, no, I'm developmentally disordered. I'm autistic, and I'm permanently disabled. I'm in the process. They paused my SSI because they were trying to find me more money by declaring me an adult child, but I didn't respond to they were supposed to have a phone call, and they changed the date, and I had it on my calendar, and I was sitting here waiting for the phone call, but it happened the day before. And I got the letters in reverse. They said that it was going to be on one day, but then it said we rescheduled you to the other day. But it actually, like, it was the opposite. I got confused, and so it's like I put it on my calendar, and I was sitting here waiting for the phone call, and I'm like, oh, like, it was the day before, and I was freaking out, but I thought that I was going to be fine. And then I realized, like, like, I didn't get my SSI payment, and then I logged in, and it said it was paused, and I freaked out. And then I waited on the phone for 2 hours to talk to someone, and she explained to me that they were just trying to find me more money, and that they're going to get my SSI back, and they might even give me more money. Um, because I guess I'm an adult child. And I don't know how I feel about that. I want to be successful. I want to work hard. I want to have a job. I want to be a member of the community. And every time I try, I seem to crash and burn really hard. Like, I went to the acting class last fall, and I thought I was doing really well. But then it's like I kept having meltdowns in class, and people kept saying that, that they accepted me, and I didn't believe them, because it's like I thought I was making friends, and then people started ghosting me. Now nobody talks to me at all. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? And like, there was this guy, and he was like 19, and I thought that he was flirting with me, and like I told him, like, hey, like, I'd be okay with like trying something. And then he was like, oh, I'm not interested. And we had a really mature conversation, and then I felt like we were getting even closer as friends, because I was honest with him, and like he was honest with me about it. And like, but then it's like I feel like I told someone else about it, and then like suddenly I got ghosted. They were like, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like people were treating me like I was some kind of like predator. Like, dude, I was just telling, like, I thought that he was flirting with me. We're both adults. Like, if like 18 is old enough to go join the army and go overseas to go get yourself killed. Okay, 18, like, you're old enough to start a family, to do porn. Like, I'm sick and tired of people acting like age difference is some kind of weird thing. And I wasn't being like super creepy about it. I was just kind of like having like a normal conversation with him. And then as soon as like he's like I had like, I wasn't like pressuring him or anything. I was just like saying, hey, like I might have a little bit of feelings. Like I think that you do too. And I read that I read him wrong. And it was just like kind of like a really small thing. He wasn't interested, and so I backed off, and like I was like, okay, like I hope we can still be friends, because I saw him as a friend first and foremost. And then it's like suddenly I felt like people were judging me when I talked to other women about it. I don't know how people actually felt. Like, maybe it was only one person that judged me, but like it's like suddenly like it's like, did I do something wrong? I don't think I did anything wrong. I thought he was flirting with me. Like, he was saying things like how he was a virgin, and he kept on mentioning that he was a virgin around me, and like doing like an awkward like laugh. And like I thought, and like I thought he was trying to say something. And so I'm like, when I hung out with him, I was like, okay, like I mean, that's what conversations are for. Like, how am I supposed to know if I don't like talk about it? And so since I'm the older person, I kind of have to tread really carefully because I have a lot more life experience. But in the end of the day, he's a goddamn adult. If he wanted to, he could join the army and go learn how to shoot people and be shot at. Okay, I'm sick and tired of this double standard with people. That, like, people say that, like, oh, if you're 18, you're an adult, but you can't decide, but you can't be with somebody twice your age. That's ridiculous. What's the point of making somebody the age of consent if they're not allowed to consent for themselves? They're not children anymore. They're adults. If somebody wants to be with somebody twice their age and they're an adult, I don't understand what's the point of even having a legal age of consent if people are going to be weird about it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it's not, I usually don't like associating with people that age because usually they're a little bit more immature. They're still figuring stuff out. It's not even about like, but then, some people are more mature, and he felt more mature, but he clearly wasn't ready. And so I backed off. It was a really appropriate exchange. But I feel like people have this weird stigma against like age difference. And it's like, dude, like, you're basically assuming that I'm some kind of predator. That's really rude to me. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, at one moment we were friends, and now at another moment suddenly you're accusing me of being a predator. That's ridiculous. It makes me feel like you never cared about me at all. Like, you never knew me at all. It's like, if you knew who I was as a person, you would know that I'm not going to be like super creepy with people. I respect people's boundaries, like, more so than I probably should. In fact, I refuse, like, this is why I'm single, is because I'm afraid to, be the person who's like inappropriate, because I'm autistic and these things are kind of hard for me. But I'm going to be getting some coaching for relationship and sexual relationships. I'm going to be at the end of the month, I think next week. I'm going to start working with a sexual and relationship teacher. So North Bay Regional Center has slowly started to get me connected with some kind of coaching. The first one that is like sexual and relationship coach. And so maybe I can learn some of these things. But I did nothing wrong. And I feel like people, and this is the problem, is like some of it, like, there's awkwardness because of autism, but that doesn't mean that what I did was wrong. Like, I had a very mature and appropriate conversation between two adults. And, then I talked to someone else about it who was a friend of his, because I was like trying to get like, understand what, like, hey, like, I don't really understand what's going on. And then it's like, I felt like I was suddenly being judged. And like, that's not my fault. I did nothing wrong. And I'm sick and tired of people acting like, people who are, it's just because it's like, if you're a consenting adult, I don't, like, there's people who are 18 who are with like people in their 60s. Okay, the first woman I was with when I was like 20, she was like in her 50s, like approaching 60. Okay, like, it's like, I'm an adult. When you're an adult, that means that you're an adult. Okay, if you broke the law and you go to trial, they try you as an adult. Okay, if you're 18, like, I'm sick and tired of people treating 18-year-olds as if they're children. Like you are an adult. If you broke the law, you are going to jail. If you if you do things, you're allowed to have autonomy over your body. If you could start a family, like, you're allowed to get pregnant. You're also allowed to have an abortion. Like, you're allowed to go to the military, like, join the military. Like, you're allowed to, you're an adult. Like, I'm sick and tired of this weird judgment that people put on you if you're like with somebody who is younger than you, if they're an adult. Like what, is it ever good enough for you? Like, is it ever good enough for you? It's like, it's not good enough for somebody to be a legal consenting adult. That's the whole reason why we have that age of 18 equals consenting. Yeah, they can drink alcohol at 21. I think alcohol, like, I mean, that's a little bit of I don't understand the whole alcohol thing. Like, in some countries, like, you can be 16 to drink alcohol. So it's like, I don't know about that. I think 21 is a good compromise because alcohol is really dangerous. But so is like smoking cigarettes. It's actually like more dangerous than alcohol. But at least like with cigarettes, like, it doesn't like impair your judgment. And I think it's because of like car accidents. But then I don't know, the problem with like making the age 21 instead of 18 is like, then when people turn 21, it's almost like they people who have been like, it like encourages people to like, it's like they've been waiting to like, and then they do too much. It's like, why not? I don't know. I don't understand the whole thing with alcohol. I mean, that's not really my decision, but at least with like sex, we've said that 18 is consenting. If 18 is not good enough to be consenting, then why don't you increase the age of consent to 21? Okay, if that's a big issue to people, why don't you increase the age of consent? So, like, I'm sick and tired of people judging you if you're with a 19-year-old and you're in your 30s. Like, first of all, most people who are 18, 19 are probably not even going to be attracted to people in their 30s. Okay, and most people in their 30s are not going to be attracted to people in their 18, 19s. Okay, so like, it's a very like case by case basis. If you're into somebody, why should it matter what other people think? Yeah, I mean, I'm really kind of lonely, but like, I don't want to like, I want to be able to take care of myself and not like, you know, put all of that responsibility on someone else. Like, I don't want other people to be responsible for making me happy. Because then what happens if I get all my hopes up in a relationship, and then what if that person dumps me? And then now my self-worth is back to where it started. I need to have like an inner strength. Like, I need to love myself. And I think that's what I'm focusing on. Like, I'm going to focus like on like over time developing a repertoire for a goal of auditioning in the fall for some kind of theater. There's theater productions at the junior college, and I can go take an acting class again in the fall, and I can try again. I'm going to get back up on that horse. And like, and I was super like responsible with my feelings for this person. Like, I worked with him at the junior college, like in class, And I didn't pursue anything while we were working together because I'm like, that's not very professional. Especially since we were doing a scene together where we were like a couple. And I felt like it wasn't really responsible to like pursue a relationship with somebody while you're working with them. And maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm being a little bit too conservative with that. But at the same time, it's like I don't think anybody would have like really judged me. And if they did, that's their own fault. Like if two people are consenting adults, I don't know why it should matter. Like I don't know why it should matter at all. Like this person is old enough to join the army, and especially if you're 17 with adult permission, you can join the army at 17. Like it's ridiculous. And in the army, they break you down emotionally and psychologically, and then they make you a weapon. And then and then they ship you off overseas where you're probably going to get killed. Like you could do that at 18. So why can't you decide to be with somebody twice your age at 18? I don't get it. I don't understand this. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, stop treating people like they're stupid children who can't make decisions for themselves. And I understand like the fear because there's like, especially in like the entertainment industry, because there are predatory people. But I think there's a difference between predatory behavior and just natural, appropriate relationships. Those are two different things. It's obviously you have to be really careful. That especially if you're the older person, I feel like you kind of have to approach it like a little. I think I did it really appropriately. I waited until the next semester. I waited till we weren't working together, and then I had a conversation with him, and I was upfront about it. And I didn't even try anything. I just said, hey, by the way, like, I'd be interested if you are. And he said, I'm not really interested in dating anybody right now, but I'll let you know. And I'm like, okay, I kind of accept that probably means like, it's always going to be no. Like he was trying to, let me down easy. And I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world. It's just one person. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Okay, I'm pretty mature. The library books. I'm afraid to show books. I don't like spoilers. And if you ever like talk about books that you're reading on like there's always the possibility somebody's going to spoil it for you. So I'm not really like I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird about spoilers sometimes. I need to get over it, especially being in theater and stuff. But I need to have my own little like journey of exploration. Okay, like come on. With books, I think it's fine. I can allow myself to not let people spoil books for me. As a performer and potentially an actress, I'm gonna have to get over that when it comes to theater. But I can also mitigate that by going to see more productions, because then it's like I can actually just watch the plays. So it's like, but in the end of the day, like spoilers aren't the end of the world. And especially if you're a performer, you kind of need to get past that, because people are going to spoil the stories for you, is because you're not a observer anymore. You're a performer. You have to like dive into the work. And I think it's worth it. You get a deeper connection to the work as a performer. And I don't know, I'm kind of rambling on. I'm really good at yapping. But I kind of wanted to like, we did a little bit of preliminary work on, let's just like try this again. I'm just going to hum along to the lyrics. And we'll see. I hope I don't want to overstrain my voice. Repatica. Okay. Okay, we're just trying to learn like the overall. Hey Boneyard. We're just trying to learn the overall. I'm not like at the perfection stage yet. I'm just trying to learn the lyrics, and I can't really sing and do the lyrics at the same time yet. So we're gonna just like try to learn the singing part for now. Once the melody is under my, once I have the melody more like kind of together, then I can start integrating the lyrics more.
What happened last night? Are you really here? Joan, 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 Joan.
Last night, what happened last night? What happened last night? Are you really here? Joan, 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 Joan.
Hi, Joan.
Joan. Oh my God, last night.
Oh my
My
God,
God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, last night.
I
got so excited. I'm so enthusiastic. Thank you for not laughing. You laughed a little bit.
At one point when I was touching you and said I might lose consciousness, but you said was adorable, and I just have to trust that you don't think I'm an idiot or some kind of an animal. I never lost control due to overwhelming lust, but I must say that I'm changing my major to Joan. I'm changing my major to sex with Joan. I'm changing my major to sex with Joan, with the minor in kissing Joan. Foreign study to Joan's inner thighs. A seminar on Joan's ass in her Levi's. And Joan's raising eyes. Joan, I feel like Hercules. That sounds ridiculous. Just keep being through this and I'll work on calming down. So, just broken up, I'll be cool, I'll be collected, and I'll be found with dignity. Who needs dignity? I don't want to hurt my voice right now. I think now's a good time to, yeah, I don't want to overstrain my voice. It's getting to the point where I'm like straining. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Like, I mean, that's why I stopped in the first place, was because it's like, I don't want to hurt my voice. I need to like kind of, I haven't sung for a while, like regularly. And it's like a muscle. You don't want to wear it out. You don't want to like pull a muscle and like injure yourself. And so it's like, I kind of have to like give it the time it needs, which is good while we're getting started here in the summer. Because auditions aren't going to be until like September. So we're going to have like a few months to like get auditions ready. Anyway, I don't know. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.